you are all over the world now, capturing just beautiful, beautiful images. I think they see the content and they appreciate it. I
Yeah.
don't think they know what goes into capturing those moments.
Yeah.
And you didn't just wake up one day and the opportunity was sitting there.
I sold everything I owned, my car, to get me enough money to get a plane ticket back to New Zealand.
I think a lot of people have that spark, like they want something more than what they're
Yeah.
doing. I think very few people ever make the leap.
I think if you follow your intuition and follow that voice inside of your head, even if you don't know what you're going to do or have a feeling, I think if you follow that, it might lead to that.
Mm,
If you follow
mm.
that instinct and that intuition, I found a way, and not only that, but it got me to where I'm at today.
Find a way.
Jared Kreiss.
How's it going?
Good, man. There's a lot of stuff on Facebook. You scroll through social media and you see all kinds of stuff. And my favorite thing to run across is a new photo dump from your work.
Oh, that means a lot.
I'm a huge fan, man.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and I've just seen kind of the growth of the growth of your work, and I kind of know a little bit about the story of you and where you started. So it's not just the work you do, but like your story. And
Yeah.
man, I love it. I love the content you do. You are all over the world now, capturing some just beautiful, beautiful images. And I want to know all about that. I think they see the content and they appreciate it. I
Yeah.
don't think they know what goes into capturing those moments.
Yeah, yeah. You
So,
start from the beginning, I guess, kind of where it all started.
yeah, man, I want to know about. Let's start with you. Like, it's no small thing to jump into this full time.
Yeah.
And you didn't just wake up one day and the opportunity was sitting there.
Yeah.
Take me back to the beginnings, like the
Yeah,
young
yeah.
Jared Kreiss.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I grew up in New Zealand, and just exposed to, the outdoors and adventure at a pretty young age. And so when we moved to Bristol, and when I was about 12, went through school and went through college. Wasn't really sure what I was going to do. And then, yeah, after graduation, I think that kind of, adventure and outdoors kind of lifestyle kind of was reignited in me. I wanted to revisit my roots, so I went back to New Zealand and went over to Australia. And when I was over there, I was traveling around, seeing all these beautiful places, and I picked up a camera, and just kind of wanted to capture what I was seeing as best as I could with people back home, friends and family. And yeah, I think from there it kind of became a hobby to kind of an obsession, trying to make everything perfect and capture, things that would really make people, just like have the wow factor, and just, yeah, being able to share the beauty as best as I could. And it's been a journey
So you
since
you
then.
didn't grow up with you didn't grow up with a camera in your hand. Like, that was not your original passion.
Yeah.
It was just the outdoors.
Yeah, I mean, I had no idea.
And so when was this that you picked up the camera?
It's 2018, so it's been about, yeah, 6 or 7 years ago now.
So you had just finished college.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't go get an arts degree or a photography
No,
degree.
I actually studied exercise and nutrition, thinking I would maybe go into physical therapy or some kind of nutrition dietitian role, or I don't know. And then, yeah, I worked for about a year post college. I was a chiropractic assistant, so it's kind of in the field. And then, I don't know, just like I feel like I need to explore myself a little more. I'm not really sure, if this is where I want to be heading. And so, yeah, I sold everything I owned, my car, to get me enough money to get a plane ticket back to New Zealand. And yeah, so I was there for like 3 or 4 months traveling around, and then ended up in Australia after that. And that's kind of where it all started.
I want to go a little bit deeper into that chapter. That's an important chapter, man.
Yeah.
Like, you had gone to school for something. You had a degree.
Yeah.
You had a job. It wasn't your passion, but it was a job. It was a path to stability in a field that you knew.
Yeah.
But you weren't satisfied. You knew you weren't satisfied.
It's not that I wasn't satisfied. I don't think I was ready to settle. I think there was kind of a fire in me that I wasn't, I wasn't listening to, I guess. There's something. So there's like a spark there that I needed to follow a little more, and listen to my intuition, and kind of go after and see what else was out there before just following the kind of a traditional, climb the ladder path. And I think I've always been a little different in that sense, kind of more of the freedom mindset, and less traditional path, and living by experiences and stuff. And I think that mindset and mentality kind of, not that it wasn't fulfilling. Like, I did enjoy that role and learning all about that, and I still enjoy that stuff. But I think just that kind of that mentality in me, just the spark to learn and experience like as much as I could, kind of took me over there.
I think a lot of people have that spark, like they want something more than what they're doing. I think very few people ever make the leap.
Yeah.
And I've said before, like, there's no good day where you wake up in the morning and think, today is the day I'm going to leave my W-2 job and put myself out there. But you did that.
Yeah.
So did you have photography skills at the time, or did you just have this idea?
I mean, it really didn't even come to me until, a year or so after being over there. Just, seeing all these beautiful places, and I'm like, I've got to find a way to capture this and share it. And it started with, my phone, a GoPro, and then from there it kind of progressed. Like, how can I make this better? Like, how can I? And I saw an opportunity eventually, like, maybe, people are really enjoying this, what I'm sharing. Like, maybe this is some kind of path. And I think growing up, I was a little more on the artistic side. Wasn't like more. I was less book smart and more creative and artistic. So I kind of leaned into that. And just kind of once I started with it, just kind of came into session. And
do you remember, like, when you were young, were you aware that you had that certain kind of artistic gift, or were you focused on what you felt like you didn't have in the classroom?
I mean, I've always been hard on myself, so I think I was always aware of what I wasn't good at. But definitely could tell that my passion and interest shined in that area. Just using my hands, drawing, painting, anything kind of creative, or like woodworking, any of that kind of stuff was always more up my alley than.
I think it's tough it could be tough for young men who don't fall into the typical roles.
Yeah, it is.
And it's like it can. I suspect it can be. It can be lonely in a world without any kind of real mentors.
Right.
You're having to figure out a lot of that stuff on your own.
It is tough, and especially back then, it's like before, social media and the online space was really there was much opportunity there. It was kind of still very new.
Yeah.
And people were a lot more focused and set on the traditional path, and if you had other ideas outside of that, they kind of I don't know, they didn't believe in you almost, so it was hard to get support.
Yeah.
So I was like my grandparents and stuff. It was kind of tough. Like, they're more traditional mindset, and it is a bit of a lonely road in the beginning, but I think that's how it is for most entrepreneurs and most people. They don't always see the vision that you have. It's just really about believing in yourself. And then, eventually you start having some successes and people are like, all right, like, and
Yeah.
most of us out of care, they want to see you do well, but,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, you just have to, yeah,
I think I think you hit it. Like if you're waiting, no matter whether you're in photography or whatever, if you're waiting for someone else to
yeah,
believe in you,
exactly.
you may never,
Yeah.
you may it's
Yeah.
ultimately like to make that decision and leave the security. You have to believe in ultimately yourself.
Yep. And you have to take that leap of faith
And
too.
and what's interesting with you is like you didn't have the skills. Like you didn't have the business
Yeah.
at that point. You didn't have that. You
Yeah.
didn't
No.
have
Yeah.
any of
Yeah.
that. You literally only had yourself and some
Yeah.
kind of sounds like some kind of vague passion
Yeah.
for the outdoors in New Zealand.
Yeah. I think it was
And
a bit of being young and
yeah.
at that age where I was just ready to experience things. And I think if you follow your intuition and follow that voice inside of your head, even if you don't know what you're going to do or have a feeling, I think if you follow that, it might lead to
Mm,
that. If you follow
mm,
that instinct and that intuition, like I feel like I should be doing this. I don't know what's going to come from it. But you don't know what doors that could open by following that voice inside of your head. And I think that's kind of what I did.
hmm. Yeah. So it's that belief,
Yeah.
it's that inspiration.
Yeah.
Um, and then there's the actual work of it.
Yeah.
So you say you sold everything you owned
Yeah.
here in America. You get a flight back to New Zealand.
Yeah.
What do you have when you get off that plane? Like what's in your what do you own?
I think I had about $3,000 or $4,000. And we did have some family friends still over there.
Uh-huh.
So I kind of had a little sense of security, at least in New Zealand.
You had a place to live?
I had a place to stay.
To stay.
If all failed, all else failed, I was like, okay.
Uh-huh.
I had a little bit of a safety net,
Yeah.
which was nice. But so yeah, I had a group trip booked when I was over there. So they did it's like a bus tour, kind of a month long tour. And that wasn't cheap. So I invested probably like 80% of the little savings I had to do that. And got to experience and see a lot of the country that I hadn't before. And so, yeah, that kind of sparked it all. I think after that trip, I maybe had $1,000, and then I went back to my family's friend's place, and I'm like, all right, now I kind of need a plan now. I've been gone for a couple months. I don't really know what's next. And I just started thinking, I heard Australia had some good like work opportunities, and I hadn't been to Australia before, and I had like $1,000 in my bank, so I knew I didn't have a lot to work with, and it was a risk, but I booked a flight over there, and yeah, I mean, I didn't have much to live on. I didn't have long, but I stayed in a hostel, which was maybe like $30 or $40 a night. And every day was just like putting out resumes, trying to get work, trying to make it happen. And ended up, getting a couple jobs within a week. I think I had a couple $100 left in my bank account at that point. And I think it just goes back to taking a little leap of faith, believing in yourself, just following that intuition and that instinct. And yeah, I mean, thankfully it all panned out. And it's kind of, if I didn't take that leap, that extra leap, I don't think I would be where I'm at today with the photos and stuff. 'Cause that's where I ended up picking up a camera for the first time. And, I was there
In Australia.
in Australia. Yeah. I was there for a year and a half total. So just working and living and seeing new things and places.
So you pick up a camera. It's really crazy to think about how quickly you've learned this.
Yeah, I mean,
This
a lot
art.
can happen in 6 or 7 years.
Well, if you work,
yeah,
right? Like
Yeah,
if you work, a lot can happen in
Yeah.
6 years. It doesn't happen by sitting around watching YouTube videos.
No, yeah, yeah,
So you pick up the camera and you just start figuring it out. Like how do you learn this? How do you learn this art?
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of persistence, and I think I've always been a little bit of a perfectionist.
Okay.
Um, so, I take a photo, I see something, I'm just like, how can this be better? And it's kind of just with each photo, it's like, how can I make this better? How can I,
Hmm.
make this in a way that resonates with people, tell a better story? And then, the skills on top of that, and you learn how to edit better. You learn all this, the settings, and yeah, it's just like a progression of like many different aspects of it over time, just a lot of repetition. And I was out there most days with my camera, like trying to, create an image, trying to, get better in some way. And yeah, it's kind of been like that for 6 or 7 years, like for the most part. Most days I'm doing something with it. So
So you were learning and you were your own feedback. Like you were your own
yes,
critic. You weren't putting these out, or were you?
I mean, on Facebook,
Okay.
I had a
Yeah.
family and friends. That's about it. I think that kind of maybe the turning point for me, or the aha moment. I mean, I had only been doing photography for about 6 months. I picked up a cheap a mirrorless camera, and then I actually won a photo competition with it. They were hosting they were hosting one in Brisbane, Australia. And it was like a bunch of people got together, and they basically walked around the city for, it was like half a day. There's maybe like 50 of us, and the goal was to see who could like capture it in the best way. And then at the end of the day, they would all come together and judge the photos,
Ah.
and the winner would win a camera. So I ended up somehow winning that competition and won an upgraded camera. And that moment to me was like kind of the aha moment. We're like, oh, maybe I'm all right at this. Like
Hmm.
maybe I can do this. And then now I had even a better tool to refine my craft and to be able to do that. So
And how at this point, how long had you been doing photography? Like how long since you'd picked up the camera for the first time?
when I like between then and when I won the
Yeah.
camera,
Yeah.
it had only been like 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was real short.
Uh-huh. But that was important validation.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Um,
And so at what point in that, like you're working, you're having to work to survive,
yeah,
and you're doing this on the side.
yeah.
At what point was it that competition that you thought maybe I could make a career of this?
No, I mean, it was still very much a hobby at that point. And yeah, I was still working other jobs part time, but any moment I had, I was always out, trying to capture and trying to share and trying to get like make my work better each time. So it's been a progression over the years. It wasn't like I won the competition
Yeah.
and like, oh, like
Yeah, like
yeah, let
yeah.
me do this. Like I quit everything for this and pursue it. It was kind of a little more of a secure track, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. Um, yeah, but
When you put yourself in that kind of situation of selling everything,
yeah,
jumping outside your comfort zone into a new place, and I think that's sometimes the most valuable thing about traveling outside your comfort zone is
yeah,
every time I do it, I learn something about myself
yeah,
that I don't know that I would have ever learned in my comfort zone.
exactly.
So when you think back about that year and a half in Australia, where you don't really, you've put yourself out there.
Yeah,
What did you learn about yourself?
just I guess my ability to adapt
Mm.
and know that the unknown and the uncertainty, like I can get through it. I'll find a way.
Mm.
So I think just yeah, no matter the circumstances, I feel like finding a way is what that taught me. Like, cause I went over there with pretty much nothing, had no plan, had $1,000. I mean, it's not going to last you long.
Mm-hmm.
And I got through, and
Yeah.
I lived there for a year and a half. I found a way, and not only that, but it got me to where I'm at today. So
I think with that going outside your comfort zone and learning about yourself, the travel, those experiences also give you confidence.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard to get back at home.
Yeah.
Just believing in yourself.
Right.
And so you're in Australia for a year and a half, and then where from then?
So I wasn't actually planning on coming back, but it was my grandpa's 80th and Christmas and Thanksgiving and Christmas were coming up, and I hadn't seen my family in probably about 2 years at this point. So I ended up going back for that. And then my plan was just to work a little bit more.
Back to the U.S.
Back to the U.S. Yeah, back to the U.S. Work a little more, and then save up to ultimately go back over there. But when I was here, I started kind of sharing places and work from around here, and it started catching on a little bit. I wasn't over there. It was still very early, so I wasn't really getting any paid opportunities. But like shortly after coming back here, I started seeing, some opportunities to get paid and actually potentially make it work, make some income. And so I kind of stuck that out a little bit, and, it kind of kept progressing, and I was like, well, maybe, maybe this could work, and just kept kind of like sticking it out and writing it out, and and it's kind of progressed.
One job at a time.
Yeah.
And you're also doing your own
Yeah.
passion projects in the Smokies.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So working part-time for the most part, 30 hours a week, and then, 20 or 30 hours a week, anything photo related.
Yeah.
Trying to get it off the ground.
Yeah.
So
are you still learning? You still learning something every day on this craft?
I feel like there's always a way to improve or evolve. I think, whether that's technically or just, you change as a person and you tell your story differently. I think, you grow as a person, and that's going to change and reflect your art and how you share things. And so, yeah, I think it changes, and, I evolve as I grow. And obviously my skills are still, there's always refinement to be done, and always new ways to see things. And
but it's not the growth in the growth in your work. It doesn't sound like it's so much technical as it is just you have grown, and that's reflected in.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, there's definitely the technical aspect, but I feel like you get to a certain point, and once you've kind of got the fundamentals down, I feel like it comes more about just seeing things, just having the eye, and just kind of the story you want to share. I think after you get the fundamentals down, it's kind of
that technical development has to be like, you've got that perfectionist mindset.
Yeah,
you've probably got. I'm sure you've got a lot of self-awareness, so you can improve. But it's reps, and it's a feedback loop.
Yes.
Are you putting those photos out, and are you getting criticism? Is that part of the feedback loop?
Most of it's self-criticism.
Yeah.
There's not many people out there that judge my work or criticize it. You put it out there, but I mean, it still is vulnerable. Putting your work out there for it to possibly be criticized. But most of it's self-critique. And then it's interesting because I go back and look at some of my older work, even from just 2 or 3 years ago, and I'm like, just like, it's just completely different than it is now, and I can just see how far I've come. And like in the moment, then I thought I was doing all right, but it's interesting to see the progression, even when I think I've got to a point. There's always some way to refine it, some way to improve.
Man, so you're doing projects around this local area. You're doing some paid gigs.
Yep.
You're doing your own stuff, putting it on social media. Take me, like, these images, like, you scroll through when you scroll through your inventory of images, your portfolio, and it's like everything is so good, and there's so much there's so much there. There's
Yeah.
the Smokies, there's Bristol, there's downtown Bristol, there's the area, and then there's Alaska and New Zealand, and
Yeah.
now you're into marine
Right.
photography is some of your best stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's easy to get overwhelmed by the volume of images you're
Yeah.
creating.
Yeah.
But behind every one of those images has to be so much work.
Yeah.
Can you take me, like, can we talk about a particular photo or a few of those photos, and you take me through all that went into capturing that?
Yeah. That's a good question. There's one that stands out to me. It was about 2 years ago in New Zealand. It's a dolphin photo. And I think I had like a week left in New Zealand, and I hadn't visited this place yet. And I pull up to this a beautiful bay, and there's just like dolphins out there swimming around. They were like kind of pretty far offshore, maybe 400 or 500 feet off the shore. And so I was like, all right, well, I would really love to somehow be able to capture these dolphins, because they kind of jump out of the water, and it's just really cool. So I ended up going back into town and renting a paddleboard, and taking all of my camera gear out on that paddleboard. There's no protection on it or anything. So if I fall over or if I drop it, like, it's gone. So I'm risking thousands of dollars just to get out there. So yeah, I'm paddling around for, the first day or so. I was probably out there for about 8 hours, and the pods just kind of kept swimming away. I didn't really have much luck. So I was out there for about 2 or 3 days, just baking in the sun, with my camera floating around. There were a couple of times where I was like, whoa, like, thought I was about to go over. A little wave hit me, and I got a little scared. But yeah, I think it was on the third day, probably like 20 hours clocked at this point. I had a pod come around me. They were circling around me for maybe a few minutes, and started jumping around me and everything. I had my camera ready and snapped a few shots. I couldn't really tell what I captured at the time, but yeah, I mean, that image there, it was just kind of the risk versus reward. A lot of time went into it, and it's one of my favorite images to date, just because of the story behind it and just the experience, just being out there, surrounded by the dolphins, and just being in that moment was also pretty incredible.
So you didn't wake up on Monday morning and think, all right, on Tuesday I'm gonna go capture a photo of a dolphin at this place.
It was a very spontaneous decision. Yeah.
Is that normal? Like, do you just live and you're in these places, and then it's like the opportunity finds you? Or?
Yeah. Sometimes it was a very spontaneous decision, and it's kind of like sometimes I'll just do anything for the photo, which can, I guess sometimes that's what you got to do. I mean, if I wanted to get it, that's kind of what I had to do. But I think for the most part, I get to a place and I see it. I see the opportunity, and then I can kind of visualize it. I don't really plan too much ahead of, like, expectation wise of what I think I'm going to get. So it's kind of I get there and I get a feel for the place or the landscapes or the animals, and then from there I'm like, okay, I would love a photo with, this bear and a meadow with these big, snowy mountain peaks behind it, or something like that. When I see everything together, see how I can, like, make it come together. It's kind of how it works.
Do you have to be there for a bit? Like, do you have to immerse yourself in the place before you know what that is? Like, what story to tell?
I don't think it takes too long. I think, just seeing the place for the first time, just kind of inspires me. Mm-hmm. Beautiful landscape. I don't think it takes too long to be able to see it all and kind of visualize, like, how I would want to share it or make it look. And I think part of that probably has to do with the repetition and the amount of time I've been doing it. At this point, at least, I kind of know how I want it to look and how I want to share it. But earlier on, it was probably kind of more, I would get to a place and take thousands of photos just in every direction, just hoping one would pan out. I think just that refinement over time has kind of like created the style and what I kind of like shooting and how to shoot it. So I think it's more of a refined process now when I get to a place.
You're more professional, more efficient.
Yeah, a lot more efficient. That's the word.
Yeah. So when you say you find the landscape, do you know like when you go to a place you're going for the landscape, or do you go to a place and then you find the angles and you work like as a tourist you go into and there's like 10 places in London where you take photos.
Yeah.
It's not like that in the Smokies. Right? Like is it the light? Is it the timing?
Yeah. Yeah, so there's you got to consider all of that. I definitely consider all of that when going to a place. I don't just book a flight and, wander around completely aimlessly like, oh, like look at this mountain kind of thing. I definitely do a little bit of research beforehand to kind of know where the opportunities might be. And then kind of go from there. I don't have like a super rigid plan, but I know kind of, where might be the best opportunities, and I think that's kind of where I start.
So with the dolphins, you're out there for 8 hours a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
On a kayak.
Yeah, on the paddleboard.
on the paddleboard, not even a kayak. On a paddleboard for 8 hours. That's
So I will say I wanted a kayak, but the company wouldn't rent to a solo paddler, which a kayak would have been a lot more safe.
I was envisioning you being on a kayak, not on a paddleboard. Like
a lot more safe and stable, and that would have been ideal. But they wouldn't rent to just me. So I was like, well, paddleboard is all I've got. I actually, when I posted that photo, I had a lot of people like bashing me or giving me critiques, like why are you out there on a paddleboard? Like, why not get a kayak or something? And I only had like 3 days left in the country, so I didn't have time to even figure that out. I just went for it. But it was pretty funny to see everyone like basically calling me stupid because I was out there on a paddleboard with all my camera gear, and I was like, well.
Wow. So when you're in the Smokies, like if you want to capture bears in this backdrop, like they don't show up on cue,
right?
Is it the same kind of deal? You're waiting.
Yeah.
You're just waiting.
Yeah. So there's been a few times I'll book a campsite for a week or so. Cades Cove is probably one of my favorites. Probably the best place to have those opportunities. So once again, knowing where to go to have the most opportunity to kind of set yourself up. So book a campsite there for a week, and then pretty much every day wake up, maybe eat some breakfast, and then I'm out kind of in the field. Take me into
that day, like the bear photo, or pick a photo.
Yeah.
What does that day look like? What does that 8 hours look like?
A lot of walking, and I take my bike around the loop. And I probably clocked 20 or 30 miles, just kind of seeing where the bears may be hanging out.
Okay.
I wake up 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, grab some breakfast, pack some lunch, and pretty much be out from sun up to sundown, hoping for, to see some kind of action. Pretty much just out there with my camera, just running around and kind of figuring out their patterns and behaviors, and maybe where I'll have a little bit more of a chance to see them. And it's a bit of luck too, because they kind of don't have too much of a method. It's just a lot of hours just out there. I don't always know what I'm doing. Just putting in the hours, putting in the work, and eventually it usually pays off.
Yeah. A lot of time alone with yourself.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
okay
yeah,
with that.
yeah. I mean, most of the time I'm thinking about getting the shot, so I'm not really.
So you are,
I don't feel like I'm
yeah.
alone. I'm just like so focused on capturing the shots.
So it's not yeah, it's not like you're sitting in a field waiting for bears to come by. You are,
Sometimes,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
If I kind of know they're around or I've seen them
Mm-hmm.
recently, there are definitely times where I'm sitting there for 3 or 4 hours just waiting for them to come back or
Yeah.
yeah.
Technical technical skills and artistic like talent aside, like there's certain personality traits that someone would have to capture wildlife.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. A little bit of patience,
A little bit. Yeah, yeah.
maybe a little bit of OCD as well. I don't know.
Right, right. Yeah, it is not something that just
Yeah,
anybody could do. But you you're still drawn to
yeah,
the wildlife and
right.
the outdoor. That's
Yeah,
still
yeah,
your favorite subject matter.
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
the wildlife in particular, I think, because I don't know, it tells more of a story and it's harder to recreate, I think, than versus like a landscape. You can kind of make it a little different, but I think with it's like wildlife photos, they all tell a very different story.
Hmm. Hmm.
So kind of.
Tell me about one of your favorite stories.
Um, well, the bear one in the Smokies for sure. The mom and the cub that kind
Yeah.
of popped up out of the grass. I saw them off in the distance, kind of a ways off in the distance, and kind of waited around for 2 or 3 hours, and just kind of seeing how they behaved, seeing how they would kind of walk around a little bit and pop their heads up to see what was going on, and I could see them doing that from far away, and yeah, I don't know. I think it was just cool to see them in their element.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, when I captured the photo, they finally, after a couple hours, came up a little closer to me, and there was only about one moment where they actually popped their heads back up again, and I just happened to snap it at the right time and be ready.
Wow.
But yeah, I think the story behind that is kind of cool.
Wow. Yeah. Um. So during those 2 or 3 hours, were you in the same place, or were you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just kind of waiting at the edge of the field. They were quite far away to begin with, and
Uh huh.
just hoping, kind of watching they would kind of move this
A
way.
little bit of luck that
Yeah,
they showed up
yeah,
at that spot.
yeah,
Man, that photo is incredible.
yeah,
It's gotten a lot of. It's obviously gotten a lot of eyeballs.
yeah. It's definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah. Where are some of your, like, you were initially attracted to New Zealand?
Yeah.
Tell me about the places that have captured your imagination now,
Oh, in New Zealand
or anywhere.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, New Zealand is definitely up there.
Still.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's like probably my favorite place
Uh-huh.
on earth. It's just beauty everywhere. It's so unique and so diverse, the
Hmm.
landscapes. So it's literally a photographer's paradise. It's
Hmm.
it's so good. Before last year, Alaska was top of my list though, and was lucky enough to visit there in June of this year, and that exceeded all of my expectations. Just so wild, pristine, and untouched.
Alaska.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Alaska was just it's pretty similar. A lot of the places we went to New Zealand, and they also have the wildlife along with it, like being 40 or 50 feet from a grizzly bear, was pretty surreal.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how I'm going to top that. But that was a pretty incredible experience.
Take me into that. Like, that's not. That's not a family of black bears in the Smokies, like
Yeah,
Cade's
yeah.
Cove.
Yeah,
Like-
no. A little more intimidating, I guess, because they're a lot bigger. And yeah, I mean, we had a guide over there, so that helped. We were staying at a lodge in Lake Clark National Park, which is known to have high concentration of grizzly bears. And yeah, one of the days our guides, he's a bush pilot as well. So he flew us from the Lake Clark National Park. There's the lake, and then it stretches all the way out to the coast, which I think is maybe 200 miles. So he flew us in his little Cessna. I think it was a Cessna 500 bush plane. We flew the 200 miles from the lake where we were camped at all the way to the coast. That's kind of where the grizzlies are known to hang out. So it's like almost a guaranteed opportunity to see them. And just the flight out there alone was like nothing I've ever seen. It was unreal. Just how the landscapes changed. So we're flying
completely raw.
Nothing out there, nothing but just wilderness for hundreds of miles. So we get to this beach. It's called Hallow Bay. There's no one around for miles and miles. And there's maybe 15, 20 feet of actual beach to land on. So he pulls down and we land on this pebble beach, which is just wild to me. I was like, I can't believe that just happened. Pulled up this remote beach, no one around, and you see bears off in the distance, and so we just kind of started walking in that direction, and spent a couple hours just in this remote area surrounded by wild coastal brown bears, and it was unbelievable. I felt like I was in a dream. It was unbelievable. Like, how did we just land on this beach? Like, and then all these bears
Is it just you and the guide?
The guide and one other, yeah. And we saw it actually when we touched down. There was a big bull moose, like right maybe 100 yards, just in the brush as well. So, I mean, it just it was just like wild Alaska. I was like, wow, this is. I was like a kid again.
So you touch down, there's grizzly bears and there's a bull moose.
Yeah.
Two of the most aggressive creatures in North America.
Yeah, probably.
and you've got a camera.
Yeah. I'm definitely more excited than nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get out of the plane.
Yeah.
And you just start.
Yeah.
What do you
kind of watching their moves, seeing where they're going. Obviously, you don't want to be too abrupt. So you kind of slow, very slow movements to kind of work your way up to them. And we walked out to this. We walked to the along the beach, and then at the end of the beach there was kind of like a grassy meadow, and that's kind of where they're all hanging out, and yeah, just kind of like grazing on the grass. And then the coast also stretched around there too, so there's a few out there on the coast digging for clams and stuff. So we walked out there and we sat in the grassy meadow. There was probably at one point probably 6 to 8 like grizzly bears just in every direction. Some like only 50 feet from us. It was crazy though, because it's like we're in their home. We're probably pretty foreign to them.
Yeah.
I mean, they see people from time to time that do trips out there, but
It's not Cades Cove.
Yeah, it's not Cades Cove. That's for sure. So it's very humbling to just I don't know, to see them and for them to kind of respect us in a way. We're that kind of that mutual respect where we're in their home, but they're still kind of unfazed and doing their own thing. They acknowledge we're there. You make eye contact with it, and this thing could take me out if it wanted it at any moment. But yet I'm face to face with it, and there's just some kind of like understanding, or
wow,
I don't know. Or maybe they just don't care, or they're just too busy. But it's pretty incredible experience just to be there and feel that kind of connection there.
Yeah, man, what an experience.
Yeah.
And like, did you ever feel threatened? Was it just, it had to have been surreal. It's just the whole thing had to have been surreal.
Yeah, I did. I mean, obviously I'd never seen a grizzly before this. So there were a little bit of nerves, on how to act and what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
But I think once I got out there and just, saw them, and all of them had seen us at this point, and they kind of just look over at us and go back to what they were doing. So I think that gave me some sense of peace.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
if they wanted to do something, they could, but
Yeah.
they're kind of just minding their own business.
So how many hours do you spend amidst in that?
That day was about 3 hours,
Okay.
and I wanted it to be about 8.
Uh-huh.
I didn't want to leave. We had to go back, unfortunately. I stayed out there. Yeah, it was incredible.
Wow. So Alaska, New Zealand.
Yeah.
Where else? Where else would?
That I haven't been. Or,
Well, that you've been, that's just surprised, that
yeah,
maybe surprised you.
yeah. I really enjoyed Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very lush.
Mm-hmm.
The waterfalls and the greenery, just very also diverse in the landscapes, and the people there were really, really welcoming as well.
Yeah.
Which gave me it was a really good experience and really good taste in my mouth about that country. Costa Rica was beautiful and welcoming, so that was definitely a highlight.
Mm-hmm.
And I did a road trip through Europe, booked a rental car and kind of traveled through Switzerland and Italy, Austria, Germany, and that was also really, really cool. Just the landscapes change so quickly over there.
Yeah.
Just a lot of diversity and different scenery as well. That was probably top tier experience as well.
Yeah. Yeah. As you've changed as a person, does the subject matter that you are attracted to, do you find that changes?
I think a little bit. I think maybe being more intentional with how I'm shooting, instead of just wanting something quick. I'm more, I guess, trying to tell an even stronger story. So just like being there with the grizzly bears, or spending 50 hours in Cades Cove trying to get one shot, versus like my earlier work, it was kind of just taking, see something beautiful and just kind of snap that kind of right away. So a lot of like more quick shots that maybe didn't have quite as much of a story to it. But yeah, I really like to try and focus on something that really, makes an impact.
You've mentioned several times that what you're doing is storytelling.
Yeah.
And telling stories.
Yeah.
Did you know that when you started? Did you know that's what you were doing when you started, or is that something that you've just over time become more aware that's what you're really doing?
I think that's what I've realized over time. I mean, that's ultimately what kind of makes a good photo. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words. So yeah, just being able to share or to tell a story without telling a story through a photo, I think is what separates a good photo from a great photo.
Do you think about whose story, like when you go into an environment like that, like whose story are you telling? Is it the wildlife? Is it the land? Is it your story? Like whose story is it?
It's probably good question. Probably a bit of both.
Yeah.
'Cause it's obviously a bit of what I see and how I interpret things. So I'm sharing my own journey and my own vision with other people, but also with the wildlife and landscapes, because some of it may not be around forever, and being able to capture and document that, it's always changing. Like I've visited a couple glaciers before, and they're receding pretty quickly, so that photo might not exist in 20 or 30 years. So I think that kind of says a lot just in the photo itself,
Yeah. Yeah. You've done you've done a lot of work around here in Bristol.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite images of yours are around 421 and the lake and downtown. Tell me about those. Tell me about Tell me about that story.
Um, well, I mean, Bristol is a beautiful area,
Yeah.
so that's kind of where it all started for me. And I'd only been, maybe a year into photography when I came over here, so I was still very much experimenting and trying new
Mm.
things. And South Holston Lake and 421 was a great place to experiment
Mm.
with that. Just with, it's this natural beauty. So yeah, it's definitely been one of my go-to places, and taken a lot of photos out there, and made
Yeah.
many trips out there in the snow, in the fall, in the summer. It changes day to day even.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, this area is it's beautiful, and it's a great place to
Yeah.
kind of you know
Capturing.
capture. Yeah,
Yeah, capturing the snow. It doesn't snow that often.
Yeah, it doesn't.
But man, you've captured some great shots
Yeah, yeah,
of that area in the snow.
yeah. Whenever it did snow, it was for sure to run out there as fast as I could.
Yeah, yeah. And the lake, man. South Holston Lake is
Yeah,
it's
it really
one
is.
of the best kept secrets
It is.
around.
Yeah.
Like that lake is just, and the surrounding area is just
Yeah,
beautiful.
no, for sure. It's a blessing around here. Love Bristol for that reason,
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely take it for granted. I'm
Yeah.
sure the people in Costa Rica take
Yeah,
that for granted, and
yeah,
people in New Zealand take that for granted.
Yeah.
Like it's
yeah,
it's the cool thing about what you do when you immerse yourself in 8 hours in somewhere.
Yeah.
Like you really go
yeah,
deep, and we so often just live our lives
yeah,
such a shallow way.
yeah. I think that's also the thing, is people feel like they have to go far, or, you know, catch a flight overseas to explore or experience much. But I've noticed, being around here, there's a lot in your backyard even that you can explore and discover. There's always new things around here that I'm finding, and I'm always surprised by the beauty. And I think this area especially has grown on me.
Yeah.
I was always thinking the grass is greener. Got to go here to capture beautiful photos, but there's a lot around, in your backyard, just waiting to be explored, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm still trying to learn that I think the highest quality of life is deep,
Yeah.
not wide.
Right.
And I think the world culture kind of encourages to have a lot of shallow stuff, shallow experiences.
Yeah.
But when I think back on trips I've made, places I've been, it's where relationships, it's where you've gone deep,
Yeah.
not wide.
Yeah.
And like we live here, and we don't spend 8 hours. We don't spend 8 hours
Yeah.
in one of these spots. But there's so much. There's so much there.
There is. Yeah. Yeah. You just gotta look, and it's the simple things, the small things. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be grand, or, you don't have, spend a lot of money to do something or experience something cool.
Yeah. Do you always work alone?
For the most part, yeah. Most of the time out in the field
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah.
I don't know many people that would want to endure the hours that I put in. Yeah, so
Yeah. Yeah.
lone wolf for the most part.
Yeah.
And I think I haven't mentioned that I've kind of lived in a camper van, or a van, for 3 or 4 years as well, which
Really?
I also kind of saw as an opportunity to put myself out there more, and have more opportunities to be out there in the field and capturing things. Being able to wake up, on the top of a mountain, wake up for a sunrise instead of driving an hour and a half or 2 hours. It's just set myself up for success in that way, I guess.
So now you are living that life. Like,
Yeah, it's been pretty much full time since 2021. I built out like a 2000 Ford E150, just like a Econoline van.
uh-huh.
And for the most part, for the past 4 years, it's been my home. With the exception of this year. But yeah, it's kind of how I've another way I've kind of I guess followed that inner nudge, that instinct, the intuition to kind of lean into it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just that little leap of faith and that trust and that belief in myself to try and make it work.
It sounds like it's worked for you professionally.
Yeah.
Is it sustainable personally?
I definitely have my struggles with it. It can be hard to balance everything. I mean, there's a lot more involved than just spending the hours and taking the photos. There's a whole business side of things, which is a whole nother ballgame. It's a lot of learning, and the industry evolves so quickly as well. It's hard to keep up. So I think I'm still trying to figure out the balance aspect. I don't think I was built to sit behind a screen, but I spend a lot of time behind the screen doing admin and, website stuff and all kinds of things that kind of make it work. I almost feel like you need a lot of different avenues just to stay afloat. So yeah, I mean, I'm hoping, over the years that I have more of a streamlined process where I can have a little more balance. But yeah, it can be tough, just running your own business in general. I think always comes with that challenge, feeling like it's hard to compartmentalize and separate your personal life from business because that's all you've got. So you're kind of thinking about it 24/7.
Yeah. I think there's a season for balance.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's when you're. I don't know. It's the beginning of the story, right? Like,
yeah.
I think some people, the balance in life, like that's been the word on social media for a long time, and I think sometimes young people think they can have balance right out of the gate,
Right.
and that's not been my
Yeah.
that's not been my experience. I haven't seen that in the most successful people that I know didn't start with a balanced life.
Yeah.
Like they were all in.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to be a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, and committed.
Yeah. And committed. Yeah.
Like fully committed,
Yeah.
especially in the what you have.
Yeah.
Like if you were partially committed, you just wouldn't work, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
You gotta take care of yourself a little. You don't want to run yourself completely into the ground and, try and get good sleep and eat well and still take care of yourself. But yeah, especially in the early stages, most part is pretty much focused on, trying to make it work.
So are you living your life in different places every week, or do you have a place where you're rooted and a community where you're rooted, and then you just go off for a month? Like, what is your
So
what does that look like?
The past year or two, I've kind of had more of a home base. My sister lives in Boone, North Carolina. So I've used that as a home base, but for the most part, kind of bouncing around week to week for the past, not this past year, but the 3 prior to that, mostly in North Carolina, South Carolina, moving around different spots in the mountains. And yeah.
Do you plan that out ahead for like 3 months, a month, a week? You
No.
just 1 week at a time.
Day by day, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah.
For many of us, you're living a dream that we can't even comprehend.
It comes with its challenges, but
yeah. It seems like such a freedom.
Yeah.
Which you mentioned that at the beginning, that's what you wanted in life.
Yeah. It definitely can be a freedom. I think it's also kind of what I saw needed to be done in order to kind of make this work, keep my expenses low, and put myself in the field and just be out there in the elements. So it was a little bit of both, but I do enjoy the freedom and I do enjoy the lifestyle for the most part.
Yeah.
But it's easily glamorized as well. I think what's shared is a lot different than the reality of it. Just finding places to sleep at night. It's not always. It doesn't always work out. It's not always comfortable. You never have complete peace of mind because you're kind of out there sometimes, and you're in the open and not really sure, what can happen. So there's definitely factors that you crave a little more comfort, and traditional lifestyle. But yeah,
When you look into the future, what does success look like to you?
honestly, just being, healthy is probably my biggest idea of success. Healthy and happy, and I think having a little plot of land, somewhere in the mountains, grow my food, and maybe have kind of a something set up to host maybe workshops or retreats. Kind of maybe where there's like some yurts, or I don't know, something like that, where I could kind of still build on what I have now, and still share and still do what I do, but just with a little more structure, a little more of a home base. I've always kind of liked the idea of living sustainably. So that I feel like if I was that would be the idea of success for me, I think.
If you ever do that, I think you would have plenty of demand.
Yeah.
I think there are many people out there that would love to spend a week in your life.
It'd be cool.
Learning a skill while they're that would be really cool.
I think I feel it's definitely a path I want to take, because a lot of my work is just through a screen, and you don't really feel, you kind of lose that connection with people. And I did some photo tours actually this year for the first time, and just being able to experience that kind of brought me back into the community aspect of things, and it was a lot more fulfilling and a lot more joy and with that. So I think I think that would be something I really want to lean into, is how I can create things in the real world. Just everything, this virtual world stuff is kind of so fleeting, and I don't know. So it's some way to really pour into the community and actually make like real connections, and I think so really part of my definition of success, I guess.
Do you ever see yourself with a physical studio?
I would love a gallery, honestly, at some point, but that'd be a big dream. I would love, because I don't really get to see a ton of my work in the physical space, the physical presence. I mean,
you saying that just now about the digital world and how disconnected it can make you feel. Like all of your transactions are in the digital world. I would think it would be so satisfying to see the people face to face who enjoyed and valued your work.
Being able to actually share that is definitely. And seeing the work and the presence as well. I mean, it's expensive to get this stuff printed, so I don't see all of my work like in the physical sense, which I wish I could. I wish I had a big space where I could hang my favorite pieces up.
Yeah. So tell me about the business side of it. You got into this with your passion for the outdoors. It led to photography. That's clearly your passion, but passions come with the business side that you've got to learn those skills. What has surprised you? What has surprised you most on the business side?
Just how much is involved.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like I said, it's a lot more than just taking photos and putting them out there and hoping someone pays you to do it. There's the marketing side. There's the networking and connection side. Being able to share your work in a way that people can hire you, just like a portfolio website. So just the amount of avenues and wheels that need to spin to kind of make it all come together it's been a process for sure, and it's still growing. Still trying to figure it out. So that's been that's been probably the most surprising part, just realizing how much goes into it.
How many moving parts?
Yeah, exactly. And I think, I get a lot of comments like, "Oh, you have the best life. I know. I wish I could do what you do," but I don't think most people don't realize the behind the scenes of how much goes into it.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm sure you kind of know that as well as someone that's done endeavors.
Yeah, I think it goes back to that deep versus wide.
Yeah.
And social media makes that so much worse. Like you see these snippets, these snippets of people's lives.
Yeah.
You don't see the depth. You don't see the struggle. You don't see the struggles. You don't see the trying to go to sleep in a camper van and
exactly
find a safe place to park it.
Exactly. Yeah.
You don't see that, and we just don't appreciate one another.
I know
the art. You know?
It's dangerous to only see that stuff, and then you kind of get in that comparison mindset.
Mm-hmm.
You think your life is, not how it should be, and think it could be better, could be different. Someone else has it better.
Yeah. And one thing I've learned a lot of things from this podcast, but nothing is easy.
No. No.
Everybody that I talk to that has had success, and they've had success in so many different areas.
Yeah.
None of it was easy.
No, there's not much luck involved. A little bit of luck, but mostly hard work and persistence.
Yeah. It's that daily grind that never makes it to social media.
Yeah. And I think the people that complain about their lives are often kind of saying it's luck, like, oh, they're just lucky. And they don't want to take accountability for taking those steps and doing the hard work.
Yeah.
So everyone has, an opportunity in some way. You've kind of got to create your own. If you just have that drive and that focus, I mean, you'll get somewhere.
Yeah. Well, it goes back to the beginning of your story as well. Like, it takes some courage.
Yeah, it does.
It takes some courage to leave, to step away from the comfortable.
Yeah.
And this story, like, none of this story would have ever happened.
Yeah.
Had you not made that choice one day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's easy to get complacent, easy to get stuck in your comfort zone and all the luxuries of modern day life, just thinking, what it would be like without those, or the security. Job security is a big one for most people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think you would surprise yourself, if you have a little belief, a little faith, and persistence. I think you'd surprise yourself.
Yeah. And what's so interesting, one of the most interesting things about what you've said today is that you did that before you even had the skills.
Yeah.
You really just believed in you had yourself.
Yeah.
And you figured it out.
Yeah.
Man, it's a really inspiring story. And I love your work. I'm not the only one though, because like I look at the likes on your photos, and it's getting crazy how many people follow your work and value it, and your storytelling is really inspiring, as is the story that goes behind it.
Yeah. Well, thank you. It definitely means a lot, because I'm just used to hearing it behind a screen, and it's not really the same. So
yeah,
it's easy to lose that connection and that feeling.
Yeah.
So I appreciate hearing that. And
well, Bristol is very proud of you, man. Like, what you're doing makes us all proud, and keep going.
That's the plan.
Well, thanks for being on.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, man.
Love to have these chats.
Yeah.
Find a way.